Hey everybody, this is A7X Fan Ben here with a fleet showcase video. So here I'm going to look at my fleet called the Jade Can Use Calypso 2. And this is a 40-point fleet using the Pirates and the Jade Rebellion. So as I say in the fleet description on Miniature Trading, I got this idea during the 12th episode of the Pirate CSG podcast with God Mason, where we were talking about South China Seas. And I basically saw the Tiger's Paw, and she's not a very good ship. 6 points. She's got some cargo, but she's wicked slow. Can't be a good gold runner or a good gunship. But then she's got pirate crew may use their abilities on this ship. And that's perfect because Calypso is a 6-point pirate crew. Calypso is the one where you can roll a d6, and on a 4 through 6, you can get 2 whirlpools into the game, 1 L away from the ship and 1 L away from a wild island. So it's a really unique crew. Calypso is one of a kind. You don't see that ability anywhere else on any game piece in the game. And it's really perfect here because it's 6 points, so it fills up the Tiger's Paw's point cost. The Tiger's Paw is the perfect ship to just sit at home with Calypso and roll for the ability without giving the ship an action. And it's a turtle ship, so if your opponent basically can't board the Tiger's Paw to eliminate Calypso when the panels are still there. So, and then Miss Cheng, there's actually a Jade Rebellion Zero Limit Ransom crew. 0-point crew can only serve on ships of their own nationality, but the Tiger's Paw is still Jade, even though she allows pirate crew aboard. So since Cheng is 0 points, it doesn't overload the Tiger's Paw on the point cost either. And then you've got the reroll ability to reroll for Calypso. So it's just, I think it's a really perfect underrated combo that I found randomly during the podcast. That's part of the reason I like going so in depth on ship reviews once in a while on the podcast, to really try to find niche uses for ships. And in this case, the Tiger's Paw, this is maybe the best use of the Tiger's Paw, period, is using Calypso with Miss Cheng to have some really good chances to create a lot of whirlpools. And this is only 12 points total, so then I still have 28 points left over. So the premise of the fleet is to use Calypso to create whirlpools that the other ships can use to go attack opponents and then find gold at Wild Islands really quickly. So you can put basically a whirlpool L away from the ship Calypso is on. So essentially L away from your wild island, and then L away from a wild island as well. So then you can get gold really quickly because you can just teleport right from your home island to right next to a wild island. So it's pretty effective overall, and I did win a game with this fleet, as I'll get to soon. And then the Virtuous Wind is the best Jade Rebellion ship, so it's hard not to use her, especially because I didn't have too many points available, 40 overall instead of 45 or more. So she's got a captain and explorer to be a nice hybrid, so still 3 cargo spaces open, great cannons, and then the home island raiding ability, which could come in really handy too, because with Calypso, a wild island might be pretty close to an opponent's home island, and you could put the whirlpool L away from the wild island, but towards your opponent's home island. So the Virtuous Wind could potentially come out of a whirlpool near an opponent's home island and then dock and steal gold the turn after that with her SL speed. So pretty effective there as well, and it really takes advantage of the Virtuous Wind's home island raiding ability. The whirlpools could really make it for a nice sneak attack there. And the Tiger's Breath already has the Explorer ability built in. I didn't have the points for a helmsman on this one, which is unfortunate, but it doesn't matter a ton because if you place a whirlpool L away from a wild island, when the ship comes out and she's pointing her bow towards that wild island, it's only going to be like S or L away from the wild island. So the Tiger's Breath, as long as she's using the whirlpools from Calypso to explore wild islands, she doesn't really need a helmsman because she's going to be in range of docking coming out of the whirlpool. So the S+S speed is completely fine, even if she's not facing the wild island and is like on top of the whirlpool for some reason. S+S is farther than L, so you should still be able to dock at the wild island. So the Tiger's Breath has Explorer built in, so she can just take coins from there. And the Oarsman doesn't take up space, so she has all 4 cargo spaces available. So the Tiger's Breath is the perfect gold runner for this fleet. Already has Explorer, no helmsman needed really with the whirlpool strategy. So I think this fleet is pretty good. I don't want to brag too much, but I did win a game. I've got some UTs as well. Jade, just kind of thematically accurate. And then Marksman's Map to try to find which islands you should whirlpool travel to. And then, of course, Protection from Davy Jones. So that's one thing. It was a little bit fragile. So the Virtuous Wind can afford to lose her Explorer, but she doesn't want to lose many masks because she is the main gunship. And the Tiger's Breath has an Oarsman for insurance against whirlpool damage. but hopefully she won't lose that and both masts. Theoretically, even if the Tiger's Breath rolls badly on the Whirlpool trip going out and then coming back, she would lose the oarsman in one mast, so then she would still be able to move S+S with her final mast standing. So anyway, so there's some votes. You can find the fleet on Miniature Trading below. Hopefully it'll be up for a long time, but who knows. And then I did actually play a game. I think it was against Rep Kozai here. I think I fixed the picture battle reports, but you can find links in the description below too to purchase South China Seas on eBay. So the packs are really expensive, but you might be able to find some of the specific ships used in this fleet. And I do see the Tiger's Paw right here actually. So if you want to check that out, it's only $1.49. $2.89 shipping is what it's showing for me. And there is some South China Sea stuff on eBay, despite how rare it is. The limited edition ships are especially cheap, actually. So you might actually be able to get the Tiger's Paw pretty cheap, obviously. And then I've also got a link to Calypso, and this seller has it for less than $2 and pretty cheap shipping. So I highly recommend getting a hold of Calypso because she's a super fun crew. One of one. There's no other. This ability just doesn't show up anywhere else, so it's one of the most unique game pieces ever released. And it looks like there's 6 available, is what it's showing for me. So I definitely would recommend that. Getting a hold of her, even if you don't make the whole fleet, which would be more expensive, especially because the Tiger's Breath is super rare. I actually don't own the Tiger's Breath physically yet, but anyway. And then this has a bunch of other battle reports on the page. This might take too long to load it, but that's alright. So overall, that's how I made the fleet. That was my thought process going about it. Basically, I don't really need helmsmen that much because I'm just going to be popping out of whirlpools near Wild Island, and there still is an emphasis on gold. I've got a gunship with good cannons, but then I still have 7 cargo spaces open between the 2 ships, including a very nice hybrid. So I'm using some of the better Jade ships and finding a very cool niche usage of the Tiger's Paw. So it's definitely a fleet I like a lot. Kind of happy about it. And yeah, you can vote on it if you'd like to. Question of the day would be, have you used Calypso in a smaller game? So for example, 60 points or less, or well, probably less than 60 points, because Calypso is easier to use and kind of shines in the bigger games, but I actually think it's kind of underrated to try using her as like a stealth, kind of a surprise tactic in smaller games, even like 40-point games, to surprise your opponent, create a ton of whirlpools, create some havoc, and get some really quick gold runs in, because you can just teleport to Wild Islands pretty quickly, especially ones farther away from your home island, to maybe steal gold right out from under an opponent. So anyways, that's the question of the day. This was another Fleet Showcase video. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.